Yesterday is gone, so you only have the day. You wanna throw in the towel, you wanna low on your face. Seem like it's too much, you wanna walk away. But you gotta keep going, you gotta fight another day. You gotta keep on going, can't stop here. You gotta keep on going, try your tears. You gotta keep on going, you gotta keep going.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Keep Going, the podcast where we focus on present self for future growth. Today we got a very special guest with us. I came across this guy, seen him hooping, and as a former hooper that used to play, he already caught my attention. He was a man of faith. I mean, just being encouraging, and I just loved to see what he was doing, and I just had to get him on the podcast. Today, welcome my very special guest, Matt Ilodigwe, Ilodigwe, or something. I know you tried to tell me before we got it started, but I forgot already. But welcome, man. How you doing, man?
Appreciate it. Thanks for having
Good,
me.
good, man. I'm thankful that you came on today, bro. For those who might be seeing you for the first time, how who is Matt?
Um, Matt is a brother, follower of God, basketball player, content creator. Um, just a guy out here trying to be
That's
great.
what's up. That's what's up, man. So like how long you been hooping for? And like what was your inspiration into hooping? Like for me, when I started hooping, like I don't want to date myself, like back in 2001, like Tracy McGrady on the Orlando Magic was like the reason I played. Like I tried to copy everything he did. But what's your inspiration for hooping?
Yeah, my inspiration, honestly, so I started hooping at like age
Oh,
5, honestly. And I don't know, like my mom, I guess, used to hoop back in the day, or she said she did. I don't know. No footage on it. But yeah, and she honestly just put the ball in my hands, and then ever since then, I just stuck with it. And I don't know, like I grew up with, for me, it was like Kobe, and it was Steph Curry, and just watching their highlights and along with me playing, like kind of like really influenced me and I wanted to be like them. And I used to play soccer too, and I was juggling those two sports, but like I realized that like basketball was where my heart was, so I just kept
nice,
hooping.
nice. If you don't mind me asking, because you said Kobe and Steph Curry, how old are you?
I'm
You
23.
23 and Kobe was still
So
an inspiration for you?
I mean, yeah, he was balling in like the 2010s,
So you
2000. I was 10
Okay,
years
so you
old.
was watching for a long time. So you was watching. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Cause I'm like, how is Kobe was an inspiration for him? Oh man,
Yeah, he was balling back in like the
no,
2000s.
that's dope. That's
Even 12, yeah.
no, that's
So
dope. So you've been a basketball fan for a very long time, since 5. That's good that your mama was able to get you started on early. Cause I started basketball like in middle school. I was about 11, 12 when I started playing. But no, that's definitely dope, man. Um,
yeah.
let me ask you a question. So I see now that you're like you content creating, that you're doing all of this. Did you? I always said many times that basketball relates to life. Like I feel like I learned so many life lessons from playing basketball. Uh, did you feel like there was a time? Because I know this happened for me. Like I feel like in basketball, in order for you to get better, the people that you might have always been playing with, your friends, you can't continue to play with them. Like you have to get yourself around people who's better than you on better courts in order to elevate your game. Did you find yourself having to do that at all, like growing up?
Oh, for sure. And it was rough for me because like I kind of got comfortable playing against people who were the same skill level as me because I would just
Hmm.
fry them. So it was good for me. But then I realized, like, especially as I got older, like playing against people that were better than you or people who knew more than you or older guys, like really elevates your game. You know what I mean? Um, from all
Yeah.
aspects, like physical, mental. You know what I mean? Like the speed of the game. So for sure, yeah. Like I mean, I think
No,
that's
that's
huge.
dope because I tell people all the time, man, like when I was growing up, like I didn't have my parents around me like that. So I kind of had to learn how to do a lot of things on my own. But basketball kind of helped me navigate through life. And one thing I learned from that, from what you just said, was I had to understand, like, if I want to better myself, if I want to get better, I'm going to have to be around people and get around people who are better than me. Because if I stay around people who's on the same level as me, then I'm going to stay in that comfort zone in life. And one thing I learned about comfort zone is you're literally not going to grow nowhere. You're not going nowhere in life. You're standing in the same spot. And if you got to want to elevate, you got to get yourself around people that's better. So I think that's dope that you said that, because I tell people all the time that honestly, only a few people are going to make it to the league, but everybody else can learn something from sports. Sports teach us a lot.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Would you agree with that?
nah, definitely. Like we were talking about playing with people better than you. Same thing in content creation. Like if you're not on, if your friend group or the people you're surrounding yourself with is not on the same time as you, like in terms of just grinding for what they want, then like they can hold you
Mm,
back. And like me in content, like I try to keep close contact and be in touch with like some of the top content creators in
right,
my niche,
right.
basketball, just to like just to keep that network, keep the connection. And also, here and there, I might hit up somebody like, yo, like, what's going on with the algorithm, like, right now? Like, what are you seeing? So I can improve. And, so it's all about, staying around people with that same, who are on the same or even
Yeah.
better mindset
No,
as you.
that's dope.
So,
That's
for
dope. Who
sure.
would you say? Give me one favorite person that you like in your niche.
Man, that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, first person that came to mind was T.
Okay.
Fields. Uh, he was. I don't know if
I
you
think I
know him. He's
I
in the
think I
basketball.
know I think I know him. Is that
Yeah, he's in the
is
basketball.
that the one that be doing the he seemed real shifty. Like he be having some moves. Is that him?
I don't think he don't really. He probably is shifty. I don't know, but he's more known for like his
Okay, okay,
storytelling
okay. Okay,
videos.
okay.
Yeah, he's got about almost a mil on TikTok, and I've been watching him even before was doing TikTok, and I just like the way like his videos are so professional and
Mm,
stuff. So I try to keep tabs on him and just watching his content, just kind of like seeing like wow, like how creative you really could get
right,
with this.
right.
So for
I
sure,
think some
shout out to him.
no, no, I think somebody catch my attention as Hezzy God.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, just as a basketball fan, it's inspiring to see this dude like make it to no NBA. And yeah, he playing with NBA players all the time. And I mean, he's literally like made it his own, like his own style. He's made basketball, especially to somebody like me, that he made it look fun again, you know. So I thought that was pretty
Mm.
cool. But you brought up content creation, and what made you get into doing content creation? Because you could have just I don't know, just like just hoop for fun. But I tell people all the time, content creation is not easy. Like you really got to put some work into it. You know, everybody wants to be a part of it, but it's really not easy. What made you get into it?
Yeah, so it was about like 2021. I was in college. I was a junior in college, and it was COVID season, so it was a strict protocols on campus. Literally, like we went from school, like class online to practice, and I was like kind of getting bored, just wanting something else
Yeah.
to do. And TikTok was kind of on a rise. It wasn't like popping as it is now, but it was definitely on a rise. And I just started, and I just posted a video, and um, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Like my first video was trash, but I kept being consistent with it, and then yeah, it started to blow off. And it's crazy because like I didn't get into the content creation stuff because I wanted to be famous or I wanted to have a bunch of well, obviously I wanted followers. That's why you post. But like I wasn't get doing it for like the money or the fame or anything like that. I was just genuinely just trying to try something out. So yeah, it's crazy how it's gone since then. But yeah, that's kind of how I got
Did
started
did you
with
have
it.
like a one video that blew up that gave you a lot of followers? Or it was just like Like over time, it's just continued to grow.
Definitely over time, but I feel like there was one video that got me. Like I was at like 9,000 subscribers, and like in a week I went to 50K, and it was a video actually about God,
Mm.
and that one like blew up. And yeah, I think that kind of like gave me the realization, like, oh well, I can definitely do something with this TikTok and content creation stuff.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. What's your like your so you hoop basically you do content now. Are you trying to play professionally or nothing, or just more of a content creator?
Yeah, so I just graduated from
Okay.
school actually this summer. So I'm in that phase right now where I'm figuring it
Yeah.
out. Like, do I want to play or do I want to keep doing
Yeah.
content? I mean, either way, uh, I'll still be
Yeah.
hooping and then I'll still be doing content. It's just if I'll be playing pro. So, I mean, as of right now, I'd say I'm doing content and playing basketball. And if there's an opportunity that pops up, we'll see. But I think right now that's what I'm doing.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. You talked about it a little bit. You talked about you had made a video about God. How important is your faith in all of this that you're doing?
Yeah, I feel like it's very important because like um, at any moment this could all like
Yeah.
leave me. You know what I mean? All the followers, all the fame or whatever could really leave. And I think, and for me, like my purpose is bigger than just having followers and stuff like that. Like I think, and what I be challenging myself sometimes is like, because at first I wasn't posting, Christian content or anything like that, and I really had to think like, so if I'm a
Hmm.
Christian, why am I not posting
Yeah.
about that stuff? We're supposed to be spreading the good news, spreading the
Yeah.
gospel. So uh, I think that's the biggest thing with my platform. I don't want to be the one who has a bunch of influence, but not spreading
Yeah.
God's word
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. So that's my
I love how you said that because it's like one thing I learned in what I do, like with motivation and everything. I learned that I can not mention God. I can not talk about my faith, and I would take off. Like like a lot of other people I see, I could like take off with no problem. And I had to come to the realization that for me, that's not. I don't want to take off if I'm not being who. If I can't be the same person off camera that I am on camera, then it's not worth it anyway. Because I'm just coming to the camera and I'm being somebody completely different. I can't talk about my faith because my audience isn't used to me talking about my faith. But I had got to a point where I was like, no, I'm gonna talk about my faith, and it's crazy because I remember a video. I was talking about God and I was saying like, if you if you knew what God was gonna bring you through but what you had to go through before you got there, would you still choose to go through
Mm,
it? And when I say it was my first like God post I did, and I posted it at 7:30 p.m. And when I woke up that morning, it was already at 100K views. I was just like, wait, what? Like,
yeah,
man, I was just like, man, like that's when I like started telling myself, like, man, I gotta step out the way. God, like I gotta remember
yeah,
that this is bigger than me, you know. And I think it's
mm,
important what you
yeah,
just said, because I think when you have that mentality, that the thing about basketball, we all know you can get hurt at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? Like it could
yeah.
be season, it could be career ending. You never know. But I'm not sure if you're familiar with what's his name? The motivation speaker that played football. I'm sure Inky Johnson. You familiar?
I never
Okay, so
heard.
Inky Johnson story. I'm sure, man, if you checked it out, you'll be inspired by it. But basically, he was one game away from the NFL. One game away. And in this game, and he said it was a play he didn't even have to go as hard because his draft stock was already sealed. And he still went hard on this play. He played a game that really meant nothing. They was already gonna go to to do their bowl game. They was good. They didn't need to win the game. And he basically hit himself, got hit a certain way to where his one of his arms was paralyzed. He couldn't even use it no more.
Yeah,
And he said at first that he did not know where to go from there because his whole life he wanted to go to the NFL. And basically it gave him a different route where he had to take in life, where he had to put his faith. You know, it's one thing to say that you have faith, but it's another thing when your faith being tested. And basically, his faith was
Yeah.
tested, and he put it to work, and he became a motivational speaker, and he's doing very well for himself. But if he would have just gave up, or if NFL would have been it, like that's his biggest dream, and he didn't realize there was something much bigger, a much bigger goal in mind, he would have lost it. So I thought that was very important that you said that, because I think as long as we remember that, then I heard this one guy say that when things happen in your life, we look at it like, God, why me? And then we should have the mentality of why not me? Because some things happen in your life for a reason. Things happen in your life for a
Mm.
reason, a different route that God may have wanted you to go on. So no, I think that's dope, bro. I think that's dope. And what you're doing,
Yeah.
man, your content creation, I think is dope. Um,
Get that.
what can you say? Because this podcast, I like to focus on mind frame. And what would you say gave you, I like to use the word the audacity to to create content? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people around you that always wanted to do it. Oh man, I always want to do that. But you didn't just, you know what I'm saying, just talk about it, but you became that. So what would you say? Was you always just a confident person? You didn't care about putting yourself out there? Or like what was that made you do that?
So honestly, I think I did struggle in the beginning. Like, dang, like I don't really want to put
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
out there. Put my face out there, just show my face too much because I was just worried about what other people thought. But as I kept going, bro, like I really really looked at myself in the mirror, like, yo, why do you care what other people think? And that stuff, man, it'll really mess with somebody and really cause someone to not do what they're called to do because you worried about somebody else.
Right.
And I can't be
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? Like, you really miss out on a lot of opportunities, on blessings because you're worried about someone else. And honestly, like in terms of audacity and like just doing it, like I feel like so with my content I was just being
Hmm.
real. I was being real, like showing like my failures, my highs and my lows, you know what I mean? Just taking everyone through the journey of my life and like where I was and where I am, because I'm still doing it. But and I think it kind of got the attention of people because like they saw themselves in me, you know what I mean? And um when I post, I try to put myself in the shoes of my
Hmm.
viewers. You know what I mean? So if I post a motivation basketball video, it was like, yo, like they doubt you. Keep going. Like that's how I feel, and that's how I did feel at some of like I got kids who follow me. Like so, as a high school hooper, I was underrated and no one knew about me. So when I like post stuff like that, like it's genuine. Like I really like live that and I still live it to this day. So I feel like that kind of like gives me that motivation to even post because it's like I know people out there need to be uplifted and people out there need to be inspired.
Yeah.
I wish I had like someone like not to boast on myself, but I wish I would have someone like me to, or I wish I used to have someone like me to kind of like encourage me to keep going. So for sure, yeah, I think
Nah,
that's
that's
kind of like my
yeah. No, that's dope, because I just wish more people would stop worrying about what other people think of them and just do, what they supposed to be doing. Because you said you was 23, and at your age, I think I was too worried about what people thought. You know what I'm saying? Like I cared too much. Like you set the camera up and you go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want eyes on me, let alone the camera. You know what I'm saying? When I was your age, bro. And I think as people continue to get older, like you'll see like older people, like some of the people who can care less about what people think about them anymore, because they've grown to an age where it's like they understand, like it does, the opinions of others does not matter, because the opinions of others, I tell people all the time, the opinions of others don't pay my bills. The opinions of others don't keep my lights on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't do nothing
thing.
for me. And I had to really,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
go ahead. Yeah, you
oh
good.
my bad. No, I was just gonna say at the end of the day, like, and it's crazy because once I started to blow up, the same people I thought, like, you know what I mean? They're like,
Yup,
dang, how'd
yup,
you do
yup.
that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, because obviously, honestly, like, there was people when I first started, like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Like, why
Yeah.
are you setting up the, why are you doing that? But then now those same people are like, yo, how'd you do that? Or like, bro, like, congrats, bro. Like, keep
Oh
going.
man,
Like, I
yeah.
never thought you would do it, you know? So it's, you kind of gotta, like you were saying, man, just you lock in and don't really worry about what other people got to say. Because at the end of the day, you gonna make it one day, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, like hats off! Like he had that vision and he
Right,
stuck to it."
right.
You know?
Nah, you saying something, man. You really said something just there because I want people to catch what you just said because I talk about this all the time. I say it all the time. There's some people I say chase your dreams, do that thing that you was called to do because there's people around you right now that I know you might think they might be hating on you or whatever the case may be, but really. Really what happened is people tend to put their limitations on us. They can't see our
Yeah.
vision. They can't see what we can see. And so when you first start off, it's like their limitations get put on you, their fear get put on you, the things they're scared of, they put it on you, and then you start to take off, then everything shifts and changes. It becomes now like, wow, that is possible. Like you can actually do the thing that you have in your mind to do. And it's like there's people that believe and there's people that need to watch you to believe. And I'm sure there's
Mhm.
people around you that you encourage every day. And there's some people that won't never tell you at all. And you are encouraging them every time they look at you and see what you're doing. They say, man, like he's doing it. He didn't just talk about it, he's doing it, man. So definitely, bro. Like that's dope, bro. That's dope. What would you say to I'm pretty sure you said it already that you get a lot of young athletes that hit you up and stuff like that. I've had some hit me up. And what would you say to those athletes and stuff like that that just want to aspire to be a better hooper, to be a better content creator? What would you say to those that might be scared and not ready to jump out there?
Um. Yeah. I'd say it's cliche. Everybody says it, but I would just say like, man, have a vision, have a goal, have a dream, and then just trust the process. Like, man, you won't, for the content creators, you won't really get views in the beginning. For the hoopers, you'll probably be trash in the beginning, but
Nope.
stick to it. Like if you stick to it, you put in the work every single day, and like it doesn't got to be big growth, but if you're doing something every day to be 1% better to that goal, like eventually, bro, like it's something
Right.
got to give. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a breakthrough. Like you're gonna on a video, you're gonna hit that 100K. You're gonna get that those bunch of comments. You know, basketball, you're gonna end up making that team one day if you're doing the things every day to prepare you for that moment. So I'd say like literally trust the process because it's all a process and fall in love with it. Like don't really worry about the destination because the destination that's not what it's
Mhm.
about. Like that's what it's about, but it's not what it's about. Like it's all about the process, which you learn throughout um, throughout your grinding stage. You
Nah, that's
know,
dope.
so I think that's the biggest advice I can give someone who wants to either get into content or hoops
Nah,
or just in life in general. Honestly,
yeah, nah, that's dope, man. Definitely, yeah. As a content creator, you're gonna learn that you got to enjoy that journey, and just like you said, I tell people all this all the time. I say, look, like you said, the numbers is not gonna come at first, and if you paying attention to numbers, well, you might as well stop now because when you first start, you gonna look at them numbers. You're like, man, I thought that video was nice. Like
yeah,
I
right,
thought that was
yeah,
good. And I tell people all
yeah,
the time I do this strategy. It's called post and go. Like I post my video, I go. I don't focus on numbers. Like if I want to go and like comments and answer back the comments, I go do that. But I left the numbers alone. That's when I got started. And then I had my first video blew up, went over 1 million. And I was like, man, like, oh wow. But it took like 3 to 4 months of me grinding before that even
right.
jumped off like that. But no, I think that's dope, bro. Uh, that's what's
for
up.
sure.
I was on your page and I seen something you had. I guess a little challenge you doing about a routine. You going through routine, and when I'm listening, I listen to a lot of NBA podcasts. And I hear that especially your top tier NBA players, because it's still like even in the NBA is levels to this. And you would notice like people will look at the greater players in the NBA, like the LeBrons and KDs and stuff like that, and they think they just like naturally more talented. But when you look at it, sometimes like their work ethic be harder. Like they have better routines. They're just grinding harder. Like what do you think having a good routine and staying on top of it, being consistent, plays a role in being a better hooper?
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't know. I read something the other day that said like don't rely on your motivation. You know,
Mm,
because motivation come
yep.
and go. You know what I mean? Like it's about the discipline and the consistency. You know what I mean? So like if you have a routine, like once you're doing it every day, like that stuff wakes you up in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. Like I, 6 a.m. I probably don't want to
Yep.
get up, but since I'm on this routine, since I've been doing it, like I got to, or else my days, like I'm gonna feel weird
Exactly.
throughout the whole entire day. I'm gonna feel mad
Yep.
at myself, like dang, I really missed it. You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, man. I mean, I think that's what separates the great players from just the average players, like the routine, like man, and you don't even gotta be doing nothing crazy, like you just getting up
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
If it's you know what I'm saying? Like it just I think it comes down to how bad you want it and like what you're willing to do. So like if you're not willing to really write down and give yourself something that works for you, then you probably won't be successful. But I think the ones who do, you
Yeah.
could tell. Like you could tell that Steph Curry has a shooting routine that he does probably every day. There's no other way. Like you can't be a good shooter like
Yeah.
that and not have
Yeah.
a routine. You know what I mean? So I think a routine and being consistent with it is really
Man,
key.
man, ah, man. I love that you said that, and it's crazy because the game of basketball, like Steph Curry, and I know you really felt this. Steph Curry has changed the way we play basketball. I remember when I played basketball, but yeah, but like I was saying, like, and I know you got to experience this, but Steph Curry changed the game of basketball. When I played in high school, you dumped the ball down to the big man. You was trying to get a lot of tools. I watch games now where I would see somebody run up and jack it like three, and I'm just like, man, like it almost seems. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous because it seems fun now playing basketball. Like, like before it was just like a whole lot of slow basketball, but now it seems exciting. When I played
Oh yeah.
basketball, I played against Austin Rivers. And his
Okay.
team in Winter Park, they were so fun to watch because they was playing that Steph Curry style of basketball. Like the whole team shoot threes, they just run up, shoot threes, and it just used to look so fun to me, man. I was like, man, I would love to play that kind of basketball. But but you said something about Steph Curry, and I think a lot of people need to get. And I always say basketball translates to life. I see everybody want to take the shots that Steph Curry take now, but not everybody is willing to put the shots in that Steph Curry puts in. Like, I don't think
Right.
people understand. Like they see it on YouTube videos and they think it's fake, but like how many shots that Steph Curry can make in a row, you know what I'm saying? Wide open and just practice. KD said something. He said, if you can't shoot 80% from that shot wide open in practice, you can't shoot from that spot. And I said, man, it's levels to this because when me and my boys get together, we trying to hit 50%. And we think we shooters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's when I started learning, like, it's levels to this. And it goes back to life, and it's like it's levels in the work that you're willing to put in to be successful. It's like that's what you said you wanted to do. Are you willing to put the work in? Are you willing to wake up at 6 a.m.? Are you willing, whatever time that it's gonna take, are you willing to wake up, put that work in to be the person that you said you want to be? And I would have to agree with you wholeheartedly that, man, if you start a routine and then you don't do it that morning, oh my goodness, like the way
Yeah.
that it make you feel, like you feel like you failed in life that day. You be like, man.
the whole day.
Yeah, you trying to
Yeah.
catch up. It's like, oh no, it's like tomorrow I gotta get right back to this routine because this knocked me off.
Bruh,
That's man,
definitely. That's real life,
yes,
man. I happened to me many times.
man. So this
Yeah.
segment of the podcast is called Keep Going. And I got a segment called Going. And it's basically where I ask you questions because going is actually an acronym. And I ask you questions for the people that listening can see that your plans that you might have for your life to say, man, he said he was gonna do that, man. And I always tell people it's levels to that. You see people who's executing, that I got this true belief that a content creator, especially when they're getting a lot of followers, it's not by luck because it takes consistency and a whole lot of stuff. It takes work behind the scenes. And so for going, the first going is G. What is a goal that you have? It could be you can choose any one of your goals, a goal that you have right now.
Man. A short term or long
Either
term.
it don't matter.
A goal, let's just say 1 million
1 million followers,
followers
dope,
on
dope.
one
Oh, that's
platform
that's
at
dope.
least.
That's dope. And for that for O is organization. Is like I believe if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And you have to have a plan. So how do you organize that goal and put something together to make sure that one day you will have 1 million followers? What does that look like for you?
Q, say that one more
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So basically, what is your plan? Like, basically organization. Like, I truly believe that if you're not organized and you kind of just wake up every day with no plan, like kind of how you talked about routine, then you really don't have a plan. Then to hit 1 million followers would kind of just be like luck. But what is the plan that you have in place to continue to do what you're doing to one day 1 million followers to make your goal happen?
Yeah, I'd say, so I could say posting every day, but like it could get even deeper, like creating like a content schedule.
Love it.
You
I
know what I
love it.
mean? Creating like a document where it's like some new like innovative ideas that no one has seen before. So little things like that, um, to put to have just at least a framework of kind of how I want to do things and how I can get to the
Right. I,
million.
I love that. Like
So
separating yourself from the pack. I love it. I love it. The I is for implement. So how do you plan to implement the goals that you have in the near future? Yeah.
implement them. What do you mean by so
So you
implement
kind of,
like
to be honest, you kind of said it already. So you kind of talked about basically posting more. So basically, I guess the implementation in your case would be being consistent with your posts, being consistent with your posts, and having like days where you create a plan where you are trying to do something like you said that's different and outside of the box. So almost like scheduling out time, whether that's daily or like every Sunday, but scheduling out time to what can that idea be? I call it like creative hour, where you just sit and you think, like just think outside the box of how you can be different to separate you from the pack. Um, so N is for narrow vision. What is some things that you can do to make sure that you stay focused? Because I believe distractions is like everywhere for us. Like everything, it's so many distractions that we have. What is some things you can do to make sure that you stay focused on this goal so you don't stray away from it?
yeah. One thing that's easy to do is kind of compare yourself to other creators. And sometimes I do struggle with that. Like, dang, like how is he at this number of followers and I'm still here? So I think for me it's just having like just focusing only
Yeah,
on
yeah,
me, and my own race
yeah,
with it, because if you get caught comparing yourself, man, that like it really messes with your mental, and it really can stop you from
yeah,
progressing. So I think the main thing for me is kind of just keeping my eyes on my own
yeah.
paper.
I love
you
it.
know
I, I love it. And I
yeah.
would definitely tell you to stay encouraged. And like I talked about earlier in the podcast, when sometimes when your content is God centered, There's a lot of people who just truthfully just, oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't care about that. And sometimes it does feel like the longer road, but I just feel like when you moving with God and when it like God's timing is the perfect timing, and it's like
Oh yeah.
it's no better reward than that. So I definitely, man, tell you keep going because I know how you feel. I can be the same number as somebody and with somebody, and then I look up and like, wait, what? Wait, what is they doing different from me? And I found this a lot of times that sometimes that is the only difference. And definitely, man, stay encouraged and keep going, do your thing. And the G is for grind. And that's just basically me telling everybody else that yeah, all of those things that you just said, you gotta put it to the test and you just gotta grind it out till it happen. You gotta grind till you hit your million. When you get your million, then we come back on. You know what I'm saying? We come back on and then we celebrate the million. You know what I'm saying? If you can still see my inbox. but but no, man, that's dope, man. Definitely appreciate having you on today. For everybody that's watching, can you tell them how can they like find you on social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Matt Ilodigwe. I know it's hard to spell, but you should be able to get there. I mean, Matt Ilodigwe, and then on TikTok, Matty Ice 5, YouTube Matty Ice. Uh, yeah, I'm everywhere, so
Hey, do me a
don't
favor real
hesitate.
quick. I'm gonna definitely put it at the bottom so people can see it. But some people don't like to read and they just listen. So can you spell a load of weight? Because Matt is Matt for everybody that didn't know that one. But can you spell a load of weight for them so they can get it?
Yes, sir. The Instagram is Matt Matt. Last name Ilodigwe.
There we go. Y'all have it. Well, we thank you, Matt, for coming on today. And everybody listen, I appreciate you and thank you for supporting the podcast. And we are out.
Yesterday is gone, so you only have the day. You wanna throw in the towel, you wanna low